Hi everybody, this is Module 2 for Student Success, SLS1101. By the way, I want to remind you, if you do not see this blue bar over here to carry you to Modules 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is how I maneuver almost everything in this class. Almost everything you need in this class is over here on the left, and if you can't see it because it's done that, hold on, then get over here in this little light blue area and hover until you see that arrow, and then it pops up. Okay. This video is going to be sitting right here, so when you see it, it'll be there, but you've already figured that out. So Module 2 is going to be talking about self-management skills. Big stuff. This comes right out of Module 1. Module 2 is going to be talking about what I consider the three most important self-management skills, which is time management, money management, and what we call personal management. So it's, to me, time management and money management equal personal management plus a bunch of other stuff. This includes your health, this includes your personal relationships, this includes crazy things like spirituality if that's part of your life. But all that management goes into making who you are, and when you really sit down and focus on people and who is successful and who isn't, you can see that self-management is the biggest key to success, and the two biggest components of that, in terms of success at least, are time management and money management. We're going to specifically focus a lot on time management in this module, and we're going to be talking about how that helps to foster responsibility and accountability in college, in your work, in your life, in everything. And it's just a good skill to learn, and you may as well learn it now to be successful at college. The objectives here are to explain the relationship between values, priorities, and goals. You can't have personal knowledge of time and self and money about what's important to you until you understand values, priorities, and goals. This is a big important part of the of module 1. The very first part is understanding values, priorities, and goals. All right, then we're actually going to chart your time, and you may want to start doing that right now because it takes a week. And I would encourage you to take it. I think it's assignment 2. We'll take a look at it, but you may want to start assignment 2 right now. And then identify important information related to time management responsibility in college. Let's take a look at the first round of assignments here. We're going to go to the study activities at some point. So here we are, parts 1, 2, and 3. We're going to take a look at part 1. In part 1, we have the first assignment is on values, and that is a PDF that you need to open up. We'll take a look at it here. What are your values? And as you can see, there's a couple of exercises. These are all self-checks. None of these are assignments, but you need to do them. Just kind of follow the instructions 1 through 10. What's most important to you here? Yes, no on this one, and then just kind of read through. What are your values? I would encourage you to do some of these surveys. And by the way, let's talk about this now. Whenever you do these surveys, you will be using this information later, so save it. This is going to go onto your final project, so make sure that you save this information somewhere. If you complete a life values assessment or something, put it somewhere where you'll have access to it later. Okay. Quick little information about the stages of life, and I love this graphic because this and this are the same thing, just at different stages in life. And I find all 4 pictures to be beautiful, but they are incredibly different. And humans go through that change, they go through that development. Good heavens, what my life was like when I was a young and dumb teenager. But as we grow and develop, at each stage in our life, we're unique and interesting, but it does come with challenges. Okay. So then there's a discussion about student responsibilities. What are your responsibilities as a student? What are your financial responsibilities specific to your courses, to your social environment? This includes your friends and your networks. What are your health related responsibilities? This includes exercise, eating right, and getting good sleep. Ethical issues such as cheating on tests and cheating at school. What exactly is expected of you? And this, by the way, is all just about college. How does this change when it becomes career specific or relationship specific? Okay. So yeah, just keep scanning through here. It's very short. and I want you to read all of it and do everything. Good information, great video right here. Please watch this video. Don't just skip it, okay? And then with that comes an assignment. Let me just get there. So the Module 2A1 assignment is called Values, Priorities, and Goals. You have a .doc version that's for Windows, and here's a Google Docs version if you'd like to open it. You will, of course, on both of these, I think, and definitely on the Google Docs version because that's what I use, you'll have to open it and you'll have to hit File, make a copy before you can work on it, and then save it as a PDF. And I can show you how to do that when we get in there. To get started though, you're gonna have to go to the Barrett Values Center. That's a link. We're gonna click that. Now this is one that you definitely need to be doing. Of course, you get your choice, English, American. You know, it only takes about 5 minutes. Click on it, and then we start going through the Barrett Values Center. You know what? It's taking a little while, so I'm just going to. You have to click continue there, I guess. And so just don't be afraid to enter your name and email address. They're not going to do anything we wouldn't ask you to do. You have to click agree, and then it carries you through. So make sure you do that. That's a critical part of the assignment. Once you open the assignment, okay, and you start reading through here, the first thing it says is to complete the Barrett values. That should say values. Okay. Your results will be emailed to you. Your top 10 values are related to 7 areas of focus. So pick, then just follow the instructions. What are your top 3 values? Input, define them here, and then just follow the directions. We go from values to priorities, and then priorities to goals, and that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. A lot of it's just copy and paste, a little bit of writing. Don't let the formatting here fool you. Just ignore it. That just jumps across this line. You can, if you want, in Google Docs anyways, you can switch out of print layout. All right. When you're done, first of all, to start writing on this, you're going to have to go to File, make a copy. But when you're done, you want to go to Download, PDF, and then that way you can submit it that way. Okay, that's the first assignment, and that's right there. Okay, I'm gonna make this full screen again. We're gonna go back to Module 2, Part 2, and we get to hear former First Lady Michelle Obama. Well, I mean, it's a slide, but we do quote her right at the beginning. Say what you will, no matter which way your political persuasion goes. If you have achieved enough to become President of the United States, or better, President of the United States wife, you have achieved something. I'm on Part 2. Nope, I still need to be on Part 1. Hang on, let me figure out where I'm at. Yep, I should probably start this video over, but I got a little goofed up. You're supposed to complete this values. Watch this quick slideshow that has a quote by Michelle Obama, and then it just carries you through this idea of goals. Read it real fast. And this is one of my most favorite videos of all time. Okay, this is a lady named Laura Vander Kam, and she speaks a little bit about time management, and especially priorities and how it relates to time management. And she says one thing in here when she talks about, I think it's hanging shower or cleaning curtain rods or curtains or something. She says one thing in here that is absolutely brilliant. And every time you say in your life, I don't have time for that, I want you to remember this video, because it's not that. There's never such a thing as I don't have time for that. It's something entirely different. So please watch this video. As you can see, it's only 12 minutes long, and it's going to help you with Module 2 Assignment 1. Okay, now we're going to go to Module 2 Assignment 2. Module 2 Part 2. I want to take a look at Part 2 real fast. Here's Part 2. Come on. I hate it when websites jump around like that. Alright, so here we are on Module 2 Part 2. This is a PDF called Use of Your Time. This is the thing that you may want to do first. You may want to go ahead and get started on this now before you even start the rest of Module 2, because what we're going to do here is we're going to start keeping track of your time. Here is the thing to read for Module 2 S4. This just tells you where it all came from. Some things to answer. This is a little bit long, but most of it is not that dense. Of course, you need to read this, and then the alley-oop advice video. It's okay. You should watch all of these. Okay. 3 steps to good time management: identify your time management style, create a schedule, and get better at prioritizing. That's easy to say, right? But you do have a time management style, okay? And you may as well identify it and run with it because that's you. It's so funny because I know what my style is right off the bat. You're either an early bird, a balancing act, a pressure cooker, or an improviser. I'm a pressure cooker. It's the worst one to be. It is absolutely the worst one to be, but I'm a pressure cooker. When I see people that are the other three, I just look at them like they're some kind of an alien. But if you're an early bird, you probably look at a pressure cooker like, what's wrong with you? But, okay, what you need to do, and this is why I say it's not that dense, just go through here and do this quick little survey and then add up your responses. It'll tell you if you're an early bird, balancing act, pressure cooker, improviser. And then there are some, I want you to read your particular one. Mine, of course, is the pressure cooker. Learn your traits, learn your strengths, your challenges, and your tips for success. If you tie somehow on this thing and you're a little bit of both, then read them both. More than likely, you will be a strong one of the four, but some people get really close to being a tie, and that's okay. But try to understand both of them, okay? And you'll need to include this in your final presentation. So this is going to be part of your assignment here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a schedule. So there are 168 hours a week. We all get the same. I don't care how rich you are. You cannot buy another hour. So 168 hours a week. How do you spend yours? Okay. Excuse me. It tells you how to do the assignment here. So very easily, just show me what you got going on. This is just some questions and answers. For instance, here's a printable class study schedule. You're welcome to use. That's from Florida State University. Here is how to plan, by semester weekday. This is great from Ohio State. How much time should I use? This is a great exercise from Ohio State. And then there's a time management calculator from the University of Texas El Paso. These are great things to be doing, so please do them. Okay. Step 3. Remember, there are three steps. What is your time management style? And then create a schedule. And then finally, we're going to get better at prioritizing. So answer these questions. Kind of go through here. Read what needs to get done today, this week, this month. And in this case, we're thinking about semester because we're going to be in school. But when you get to a career, you can change that to whatever unit of time, month, fiscal year, however you want to do it. Procrastination checklist. Do any of these apply to you? And yes, they do, because we're all procrastinators. Strategies to combat procrastination. These are wonderful, especially for me personally. As the pressure cooker, I like the bite-sized, okay? Because it helps, it kind of forces me to get rid of the pressure cooker stuff, right? So read through those 5. I love checklists too. And so whenever somebody tells me to do something, I write it down, and then when I'm done, I get unbelievable satisfaction out of scratching that thing off my to-do list, okay? And then finally, there's a quick summary. Now, that's M2S4. Then we're going to go through and talk about the value of time. Quick little slideshow on that, talking to you about how time is a commodity, and it tells you how to relate to time better. And then finally, there's some time management strategies, okay? Remember, none of these are assignments. These are just for you to read and look through. Anything that you did in here is just for you to keep for future use. The actual assignment is here. This last video, rather short, but it's about breaking bad habits and how to create a good time management strategy. Okay, now we're going to go take a look at the Module 2 assignment, Part 2. So here we are taking a look at, I just went straight to it, I hope you guys don't mind. M2A2 is the time tracking assignment. Like I said, this is going to be the one that takes you a week to do. Now, it's not like you have to work on it solid for a week, but what it really is planning for a week. We're going to start out taking a look at this assignment here. It's the time log. You can do this however you want, but in half-hour increments on 5 days. And it would be kind of neat. I don't know. It's up to you. Should this be 5 weekdays, or would this be maybe 4 weekdays and a weekend? I don't know. But what we want to do is kind of get a snapshot of what you do all day, every day. So it's just kind of like a time diary. All right. Yes, you have to do it because of the assignment. So just starting today, you can kind of reconstruct until now, and then just starting today, just fill this in. And if you are like, if you like go to sleep at 10 o'clock, put sleep and then just draw a line until you get up the next day, right? And you can see we skipped a lot of it from uh, 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. There's nothing there, so you shouldn't be up at 2 o'clock anyways. Anyway, so just like if you are working from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., just put work and then draw a line. This doesn't have to be every square filled in, all right? But this needs to be completed for 5 days, and at some point you should put the date at the top. So print this thing out. Just because it just makes life easier. Now, if you don't want to print it out, you can reconstruct your own inside of Excel, okay, or using Google Docs, Google Sheets, okay. Speaking of that, the assignment is actually here. This is the assignment, and when you open it up, this is open up in Google Sheets, but if you open it up in Excel, it should look the same. Look at what we've done, okay. So take and put what day you did in here. Tuesday, May 14th or whatever, I don't know, I'm just making those days up. But then start, you have to do two things here. You have to type in the name of the task, and then you have to categorize it from these areas here. So if you studied for your math exam, then you write that out. Then under category you put R, time spent on reading, research, studying, or homework, goes there. If you're sleeping at that time, you put in sleeping, and then S, and then change that, put in a code. So what's going to happen is this is crucial. These codes are crucial. So go here and put in these codes all the way down. You got 5 days to do, because we did 5 days, right? And then look here at the bottom, you got these tabs. Okay, so part 2 is then to track the information. So just follow the directions. It tells you what to do. I'm not going to read them to you. And then finally part 3 is to compare, and this is the important part because it creates a couple of things. It'll create some graphs for you and stuff. This is the crucial part, okay? So down here at the bottom, after you do, after you fill all this out, all right, you're going to answer each of the following questions by writing a response, okay? So you got 4 questions to answer. Okay, this may seem a little confusing. Take your time. You'll be all right. This is probably the hardest assignment we do, other than the final presentation, but it's not that difficult. Take your time. If you slow down, take your time and do it right, not try to fake it, you'll be fine. Most people try to zoom through here and fake it. Okay, so that's Module 2 A2 assignment. Let's go back to Module 2 Part 3 real fast, and because the assignment is the quiz, and I don't go over that with you, but so we're in Module 2 assignments. We're going to go to Part 3. And in Part 3, we've got, as usual, 3 things to do. Everything's in threes. We're going to take a look at a quick to-do list. Okay. We'll take a look at that real fast. And what we're looking at here is a quick kind of an example of how you can manage your time better. This is a to-do list. Okay. Of course, read and answer this. I'm just skipping over it. That doesn't mean you have to do it. But what this thing does is it basically tells you to make a practice. Okay, make a list of all the things you want to accomplish for the next day. If you'd like, you can just use these, but what do you want to get done tomorrow, or if you're sitting at your desk or something just before you go to bed, make a list of all the things you got to do tomorrow. If you don't have that list, you're just not doing what you should do. You need that list. Now, I personally like to put my list together. It's a running list. Okay, so I keep a list. When somebody tells me to do something, I add stuff to it, and when I get through, or when I identify something I need to do, I add to it. When I complete it, I scratch it out. And about, depending on how busy I am, but at least once a day, I will kind of rewrite it onto a new list. Now, we could do this electronically. I kind of like note cards, even though I love electronics. I kind of like the note cards because they're a little more portable, a little more easy to access for me. I'm an old guy, but I just like the idea of scratching it out. It's just a little more analog, but it works better for me. You can do this on, there's actually, we talk about it right here. There's apps such as Evernote, OneNote, or Stickies. These can help you out. But read through here, especially this idea of what we call SMART goals. SMART goals are how you should be thinking about your to-do lists and your priorities and values and goals. Because SMART goals, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and has a time frame. And it talks to you about how to write SMART goals. Okay, don't just say I'm going to get an A in anatomy class, because that doesn't do anything. Okay, that doesn't tell you. That's not a smart way of looking at it. A smart way of looking at it would be, I will schedule and study for 1 hour each day at the library from 2 to 3 p.m. for my anatomy class in order to achieve an A and help me gain admission to nursing school. That seems a little wordy, but um, that is how you should be thinking of your larger goals. Now, I would not write a SMART goal for how I'm going to go buy groceries, okay? Although you may need to. If you're the type that's frivolous and likes to just, you go to the grocery store for two things and come out with 3 sacks of groceries, most of which is stuff you didn't need, especially if you go down the aisle of shame at Aldi, well, maybe you should write a SMART goal. But for most of us, these SMART goals are going to be more for the bigger stuff. But you need to write these out, okay? SMART goals are found everywhere. You will see SMART goals in your professional career. When you go to trainings, when you go to other events, I was at a job site the other day for some reason, and I saw a poster that talked about SMART goals. Okay, this was not an academic setting for me. This was an entirely different thing where I have a side business with drones, and I was at this place where I was flying a drone, and there it is right there. Totally not related to academics. Nobody was teaching this. This was just a poster that said, "Are your goals being smart?" It was the craziest thing. I almost took a picture of it. Randy Pausch's idea about the last lecture. He wrote a great book, made a great video. You really should go through it. Then we talk about organizing our goals, okay, and putting them all into one place because it prevents confusion. Make sure you read that. Of course, use technology. Now, I do use technology a lot. There is, with Google, there is a little app called Google Keep that I use a lot for making lists and notes and things to do. Evernote is great. It has a to-do list kind of software built in. I don't use OneNote or Stickies that much, but I hear they're very useful. Okay. The next step is to break your goals into small steps. All right. Buying a house is not a goal. That is a goal. It's a huge goal, and you should look at it differently. You shouldn't just say, okay, my goal is to buy a house. First of all, you need to turn it into a SMART goal, and you need to break it down into several steps. Okay. So then we prioritize those goals. What is highest priority of all the things on this list up here? We're going to move them around to high priority, right? Now, priorities are crucial here. Notice what the most crucial priority here is. You're a college student. Your work is second, but it is second. And your work, is what pays the bills right now. It is not top priority. Top priority is going to class. And if you don't have an employer that understands that, then it's time for a new employer. Trust me, there's plenty of jobs out there. And I know what some of you are probably going, yeah, right. No, you haven't met my boss. Well, trust me when I tell you, you need to put going to school over work. I worked through college. Okay, I did all kinds of things. I was on a construction crew. I bartended. I did all kinds of things. But I'll tell you right now, there were many days working at the bar where it was a slow day. I was reading my textbook or I was doing some writing. There were many days where I told my boss lady, I said, this week is finals at school for me. I need the week off or I need a day off. And, she was good about it, but if she wasn't, time to go. Going to class is your top priority. Now, will it change temporarily? By the way, these things will change temporarily. When you are paying your bills, that's currently your top priority. But the thing is paying bills needs to be a priority, but it moves up temporarily and then goes right back down. Go to the class stays at the top. You can temporarily replace it with like eating lunch with a friend, but then once that is over, going to class goes right back to the top. It's a little fluid, okay, but it also reminds you what's most important. And then the way you look at this is, I can do this one if everything else is done, okay? So the way the priorities work is you go from the top to the bottom. Do I have time to text with my friends? I do if I've completed everything above it. And if I haven't, then complete everything above it first, then do this. If you live that way, you will be a successful time manager, and I'm telling you, that is one of the huge keys to success. I sound like Trump, but there's a hugely important thing for keys to success. Now, this goes on to give you some ideas about how to prioritize and things like that, and you're welcome to do that however you want. There's a whole quadrant system that works really well, but that's going to be up to you. So it's just a suggestion. I like it. It's not for me, but I like it. It may work for you. Come up with your own. Use this one. It's up to you. Okay. There's a quick discussion in the second assignment for about multitasking. Everybody talks about how multitasking is such a great thing. It is not. True multitaskers do not focus on two big things at once. Multitasking is when you're driving down the road and you're thinking about cooking supper. That's multitasking, okay? You've driven so much. At my age, I've driven so much that I can let my brain do other things while driving down a straight stretch of highway. That's multitasking. Multitasking is not watching television while doing work. Those are two things that require a large portion of your brain, and you cannot multitask. What you end up doing is what's called switch tasking, and switch tasking is very bad. This tells you all about it. Switch tasking causes you to do both things poorly, and if either one of them or both of them are important, then you have not successfully completed it. It will take you longer, and you will do it to a more poor quality when you're doing switch tasking. So no, you're not a multitasker. No, you can't listen to you can't be watching television or talking to your friends or have your phone on while you're studying. Not and do it successfully. Go through here and see what they're talking about. You'll see what I mean. And then finally, there's a discussion about procrastination. Again, this is such a good video. This guy's funny. This presentation is funny, but man, is it good. And if you actually started using these terms, and it's been a while since I watched it, but there's a monkey and a monster or something. If you start using these terms to define how you're procrastinating, that would be so awesome. This guy, Tim Urban, gave to me what is probably one of the top 10 best TED Talks of all time. Watch it. Try to apply this concept to your life. Watch it again. And you're going to definitely see how procrastination gets started, and hopefully you will see some ways to avoid it. And that's it. After you do that, you go take the Module 2 quiz, and that's all of Module 2, you guys. So of course, if you need me, shoot me an email or a text. I'm here for you, and that's it. So get to work.